But what struck me about Pooh, of course, was number one, that there was this bear of little brains who was somehow so much wiser than everybody else. So fundamentally, he found a peace inside, despite the fact that his intellect is just under functioning. Number one. Number two, there was this relationship with the little boy, Christopher Robin. And there's a passage towards the end of the book where Christopher Robin, I don't know if you know the real story. In fact, there's a movie about it right now. But Christopher Robin's father, A.A. Milne, was a writer, and he bought these toys for his son to make stories about them. And Christopher Robin actually suffered because he was secondary to his father's career. They did not have a good relationship. So these characters that the father made up kind of dominated and squeezed out Christopher Robin's own life. And he himself became a bookseller later on in his life, and he wrote about his autobiography. So there's something about the dysfunctionality in father-son relationship. But in the book, Christopher is playing with his toys, and then he starts to grow up, and he has to go to school, and he won't be able to play with his toys anymore. And at the very end of the book, there's a passage where the book ends with, but wherever they go in the enchanted forest, the little boy and his bear will always be playing together. And that would just bring tears to my eyes for decades upon decades upon decades. Until recently, I had an experience, actually a psychedelic experience, when I realized that there's nothing to mourn because I'm both the bear and the little boy. And I always will be playing, that nothing is lost. But when I read that book, there was a sense of loss. When I read that passage, there was something's being lost. Childhood innocence is being lost. Playfulness is being lost, which resonated with my own childhood because I did lose innocence and playfulness very early in life.